Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood Birdman here. I was doing some research while working on my Flatzoid response, and to my surprise, he made another video, this time looking at Professor Dave. If you don't know Professor Dave, he's a big creator here on YouTube. He talks about science, and he does do debunking type videos. So Dave responded to Lord Jamar, the same exact video that I did, and Flatzoid had something to say about it. Now, the reason I know about this is because I was looking at Flatzoid's channel because I'm working on a response to his response to my response, the infinite regress. And I guarantee you he's going to live stream this video, so even more infinite. And hello to the 5 people watching his stream.
So anyway, I was thinking what we can do tonight, and then I saw a stream from Not a Professor Dave playing the drinking game on Lord Jamar's interview. You know, the same one that Mr. Birdbrain himself, the Birdman, did.
Birdman mentioned.
I'll be interested to see if he has any better ways of debunking that discussion with Lord Jamar than what the Birdman did.
It's such a weird thing to say, to go, Not a Professor Dave. It's a channel name. Like, who cares? I'm not really a bird, right? I might look like one, maybe, the beak. It's such a non-thing. These people, they do that to shit on other people that they disagree with, Oh, Not a Professor Dave. Like, it's just a name. He teaches people things about chemistry, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's not a chemist, but he teaches about chemistry, and then obviously broader topics in science, like maybe evolution or astronomy or whatever the fuck. He's a professor in that sense, and that's where the channel name comes from. And I don't know why I'm defending it. I'm just simply saying that this is the type of drivel that you're going to get from Flatzoid here.
And let's get to listen to what Not a Professor Dave has to say.
Flat Earth stuff, and so let's go ahead and react to it. So I'm going to start now.
You're a flat earther, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Lord Jamar is a flat earther, everyone. Why are you a flat earther, sir?
Because it's ridiculous to think that someone can live on a ball, to think that water could wrap itself around a spinning ball, to think that people could be on the bottom of a fucking ball and be upside down because some magical thing called gravity is allowing it to happen.
So the water...
Okay. All right. So we're starting here.
Why not?
This will never not be funny to me. This is the first thing that he decided to bring up, and it just shows how unbelievably stupid he is. This is what makes me this is what's funny about it.
It actually shows how unbelievably naive he is.
They don't understand.
Yeah. It's this is what the thing is. The reason he starts with it is because the globe is so unbelievably stupid.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's the way that flat earthers, how can I say, ridicule the globe, because it's idiotic to think you got someone standing antipodal from you.
Exactly, antipodal, standing. His up is opposite from your up. You know what I mean? If he jumps, he's jumping away. You jump at the same time. You're jumping away from each other. Ridiculous.
I find that really interesting coming from flat earthers, people who believe in this worldview that has been debunked for thousands of years. It's like we've known the Earth was a sphere in the time that we thought everything revolved around the Earth, which is, just think about that for a second. People believed things revolved around the Earth. That would make the Earth spherical or at least circular. So ancient people already knew that the Earth was at least round. It's kind of ridiculous coming from a flat earther, to say that this is ridiculous. It's like you're throwing stones in a house that's see-through.
No.
Yeah, and you know what's sad about that? this antipodal business has never been verified or observed. You can't observe it. Why? Earth's too big.
But when they've got all these pictures taken of in space, taking real pictures of Earth, why can't they show the ship on the side of a ball and the plane above another part of the ball, or a ship on the other part of the ball, or a plane, both, whatever? You know what I mean?
No, we don't know what you mean, lesbian John Voight. The problem with your insane rant there is that even if the world were flat, it would still be too big to photograph that. Like, okay, I live in Los Angeles. Someone who is living in San Diego, which is still California, it's still Southern California, it's roughly 100 or so miles away from where I live. You still wouldn't be able to photograph those two people at the same time. Like, what are you people asking for? Okay, are you asking for a telescope to photograph someone in like L.A. and then someone in New York? Like, what do you not realize how small human beings are in comparison to the Earth? Are you stupid?
Well, the angular size is too small, so you can't pick it up.
Yeah.
But what I find really astonishing is they can pick up a galaxy cluster or a star for trillions of miles away,
Exactly.
but they can't pick up a ship or something with a satellite only a few 100 kilometers away.
Exactly. They should be able to zoom in that ship, zoom out, then zoom to the bottom of the ball and zoom in the plane flying upside down.
You know, I've actually heard this before, that since we have telescopes out in space, that we should be able to look at the Earth in the same way. There was a really good video done on this. I can't remember who exactly made it, but they talked about how if you looked at the Earth with a telescope, it, like the one that's in space, it would be like just too blurry. But more than that, I can't understand how these people don't just understand that these are multi-million dollar, if not $billion. I don't know how much a satellite costs. I don't do the research on this stuff, but I know it's like the M's at least. You're talking about a multi-million dollar piece of equipment, and you want it to stop its multi-million dollar objective, which is, you know, to look out into space and to see things and discover things. You want that $1 million project to point back at the Earth to prove something that has been debunked for a couple millennia now, for the very tiny minority of people that may believe the Earth is flat. Huh? Listen, we could do that. Like, that's something that's in the realm of possibility. The Japanese would say dekimasu. Dekiru means we could do it. But why do we need to do that for small YouTubers?
It's amazing. They always have very selective proofs for them.
Irony.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Lord Jamar is just making fun of your idiotic globe claims. That's all he's doing.
And that's all we do.
Because
and you guys get
it's
upset
ridiculous to think someone's standing antipodal to you on your globe.
You know, to claim things are ridiculous, you're making an argument from incredulity. You know, one thing these fucking flat earthers like to do is constantly bring up fallacies, and they commit the most fallacies of any person arguing anything ever. It's like you're literally committing the incredulity fallacy right now. Oh, it's ridiculous. Because it's ridiculous to me, that must mean no, that's not how that works, Flatty. You yourself tried to claim that I was making a fallacy where I had I had the burden of proof. These are claims that they make and then say that we have the burden of proof. But it's like, no, you do. And you guys have thus far been unable to provide any evidence for anything you say. You know, this fucking idiot invokes the Hebrew cosmology. It's like that thing literally says that there's water above the firmament, that there's a heaven and that there's Sheol. Sheol is, the Jewish equivalent of hell or the underworld. They stole that idea from the Greeks, but, that's neither here nor there. He says that's a relevant model, but it's like, fam, I would have to be able to actually test for those things. Can I test for the firmament? Like, the firmament is like this crystal, for lack of a better term. I don't know what they think it is, but it's been described as like this crystal dome that sits above the flat earth, right? And if it's a dome, that must mean it eventually touches the ground. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Go up to where that touches the ground and prove that it's there. That would be like the best piece of evidence you have for the firmament. But for some reason, you guys will never go and test that. I wonder why. Oh, they won't let you go and do it. Right.
It looks like Witsit he's got on his wall, but in...
it does.
It looks like Witsit, but in Simpson style.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
So these fucking numpties are talking about the characters on Dave's wall. And like they said that the one with the orange hair is supposed to be Witsit, which is the guy we looked at in an earlier part of this series. Dude, that's Hank Scorpio. He's like one of the most famous characters in Simpsons history. These guys never know what they're talking about. It's uncanny. They did this to me. They said that my channel's mascot was, I made it up or I edited the colors. Like they didn't even know it was official Capcom art. These people are so clueless. It's hilarious.
How water can wrap around a ball and how something can hang onto the bottom of a ball because it's supposed to fall off of the bottom of the ball. The reason these guys think that is because they're imagining holding a globe
on Earth.
On the Earth where things would fall down to the ground.
No.
I love Dave. He's like, he says the things that are like in my brain. I'm like, yeah, I said the same exact thing, is that these people, when they say, oh, well, show me water sticking to a rock. It's like, I can't do that on Earth because everything is attracted to Earth. That means if I have water on a ball or a rock, it would fall to the Earth because the Earth exists, guys. This experiment would have to be performed in space. Okay. And I don't have the resources to go to space and do that. So what you're asking for is quite literally impossible. Well, not literally impossible. I mean, I suppose I could physically do it if I had the resources, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. I can understand what he's saying here. Okay. Because it is based on a straw man, just like I told Kent.
Yeah.
Because
straw man.
According to them, we're on the Earth with a large mass. So your ball that you're holding has little mass. So you can't.
Flatzoid's referring to a straw man on Lord Jamar's part. That's, yeah, it is on Lord Jamar. I'll give you that, Flatty.
Expected to stick it. But the issue you have, guys, is it's not observable. The claim you're making is not observable.
The claim that water sticks to a ball is not observable. Like, we literally have photos of space, guys. We have photos from space, I should say, of the Earth. That is observable. Again, I showed videographic evidence. I showed two. One of a SpaceX rocket going into low Earth orbit or wherever it went to, which is still space. I know some flat earthers like to say that low Earth orbit is not space. It is. And then you can see the image from the camera that's on the side of that aircraft or spacecraft. It goes up and it goes on its side, and you can see that the Earth is right there. You see it, and you see the blue. You see the water. The other piece of evidence that I showed was some YouTubers. They went up into space and like that prohibitively expensive fucking space ride that they have. I wish I could go to that. I probably should like crowdfund that. That'd be dope. Like if my subscribers wanted to crowdfund sending me or Flatzoid, we should do that. Send this motherfucker to space because I already know that what the shape of the Earth is. We need to show these people going up in that thing, because like there's videographic evidence of some YouTubers going up and looking at the Earth. Then recently, they just had to take a video down because this one woman, she was looking at the Earth from the same exact trip, not the same trip, but like the same spacecraft that they, pay to go up in. And they made it sexual, right? Like she was having like a moment and they made it sexual, but that's real. That's up. That exists. That's a thing. How do you explain all of that? It's all fake? Everybody's lying? Really? Everybody? I don't know, man.
And it goes against the physics of water.
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
No, it doesn't.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Water literally obeys any force that's applied to it. Like, what do you think a wave is, my dude? Do you think that water's just doing that of its own volition? When you put water in a container and you freeze it, it'll take whatever shape of the container that it's in. What do you mean it doesn't obey the physics of water? Yes, it does. It literally does. Again, Dave is on the screen right now explaining how these fucking people believe that we should be able to demonstrate water sticking to a ball. He's literally making that point, right? Flatzoid just said that that's a straw man, that's a straw man made by flat earthers. He's admitting that they make that straw man. And yet he's committing that same sin right here, right now, by saying this doesn't obey the physics of water. What he's actually saying is we've never seen something stick to a ball. That's literally the argument. That's what he's saying. Again, the problem with that is we have videographic evidence of Earth, and we have videographic evidence of the water sticking to that ball. How do you explain that? Is it fake? Is it all fake? What are you talking about?
Because of gravity. So they debunk themselves when it's like, why would the Earth in space, where is the water going? What is down here in this direction in space?
Why would the
that
water
is magic?
Exactly. Why would the water fall off the planet? Let's assume for a moment that we are correct about the shape of the Earth. Why would that water fall off the planet? It wouldn't, because there's nothing to fall off. Like, this supposes that there is an objective down. This is a problem for flat earthers. They never can explain why things in particular fall down. Not sideways, not up, not diagonal, always down. Why? Answer that question. We have an answer. That everything gets pulled to the center of mass of a significantly large object, such as the Earth. Okay? That's our answer. What's yours? Why do things always go down? Density and buoyancy does not answer that question, okay? Because with density is simply the mass per unit of volume. So how much stuff is in a thing? That's it. That's all density is. Buoyancy, on the other hand, does describe why things may go up or down, right? But the thing is, with buoyancy, let's say like a helium balloon will then sit on top of whatever it's less dense than. It won't infinitely go up. It's still going down. It's still going down because it's sitting on top of a thing, right? Why doesn't it sink? That's buoyancy. But why doesn't it infinitely go up? That's gravity. That's the answer, right? So the point is, these people, they have no answer for down. They can't explain why things actually go down.
Pulling the water off of the globe because it ain't the Earth.
Okay, first of all, again, like I was saying, it's based on just making fun of you guys. I understand it's a straw man, but you guys do have a reference to up and down, even though you guys don't want to accept it. That's why you have an axial rotation, that 23.5 degrees. It's based on a reference, which is horizontal, by the way, to the sun. So you do have an up and down on your globe. And if you're claiming your globe is spinning and the centrifugal forces, the water has to go somewhere.
No. See, you're getting multiple concepts confused here. Okay. So what he's saying is we have an up and down because of the axial tilt of the Earth. I understand where he's coming from with that, but he's completely missing why we know that there's an axial tilt. Okay. It's because the Earth is spinning on that axis, dude. So no matter how you want to orient the Earth or look at the Earth, it's still spinning at some type of angle. Okay. And based on how we are situated, like the continents and the water and such, it's due to our position and the sun's light hitting us. Like all of that is based on that. So that's what it is. It's not that it's an up or down. There is no up or down in space. There's an up and down on Earth or any other sufficiently large object in space. If it has a big gravitational pull, there will be a down there, and then the opposite of down is up. But in space, there is no up or down. So yeah, there you go.
But you're claiming your beloved gravity, which is not a force, is holding it down.
Yeah.
I was going to say there's a magical force pulling it into that ball. Where's that magical force at?
It's always funny that the religious claim other people believe in magic when they literally do. That always cracks me up.
Like it is here, where we're all sitting here holding a globe above the ground. Like, and I don't know, honestly, I don't understand what the obsession is with the water anyway, because gravity pulls everything to the center of the Earth.
Air,
water,
rocks,
air,
yep.
right? All solids,
everything.
liquids, and gases alike. So, yeah.
What? Well, I've got to rewind that.
Why is he
If
confused
it
about
pulled
this?
the air to the center of the Earth, would we be able to breathe it?
He's saying that everything gets pulled to the Earth. So gases, liquids, solids. What is so difficult to understand about this?
No.
It'd be all lying in a layer at the bottom around the surface of the Earth.
But that's what I'm saying.
Huh?
Let's, for instance, take CO2, okay? We'd all be walking in CO2 right now.
Exactly.
You get pools of CO2, but they still eventually
Dissipate.
disperse. And the CO2 usually comes out of the ground.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come from up to down. It comes from out of the ground upwards.
I know.
Ridiculous.
What do they even think they're arguing? He said that if gravity were true, then we would all be walking in pools of CO2. I mean, there's trace CO2 like literally everywhere on Earth, at least on the surface of the Earth. There's trace CO2 everywhere. Because guess what? Every time we talk, we're producing CO2. Is he saying that because gravity attracts everything, that like the CO2 is not escaping into space, Flatzoid? That's the argument here. You guys talk so much about density and buoyancy, and you have no fucking clue how buoyancy even works. Your argument for gravity is the argument against what you're saying. It's very, very easy. Very easy to just debunk everything this guy says.
Into space, then.
Everything should be pulled into space, into the so-called vacuum of space if there's no covering.
Okay, so first things have to fall off the bottom for some reason.
I think you're already drunk, dude.
He is.
Yep.
He is.
This is what they do. And I've said this before. It's like he's trying to get a point out, and they pause it before the point can come out to make an irrelevant. You're already drunk, dude. Like he said, like, look at the title. It's on reacting to rapping flat earther while drinking. It's right there, guys. We know he's going to be drunk. It's the premise of the video. You don't have to stop and remind people he's going to be drunk. We know. That's the point. Is he can debunk you motherfuckers while drunk because it's easy. Jesus, this is exactly why it makes no sense to have a conversation with this numpty. Okay, because he's going to stop you and take you off into an irrelevant tangent. You know how much of this video I've had to skip already? A lot.
To space, then.
everything should be pulled into space, into the so-called vacuum of space if there's no covering.
Okay, pulled into space. Okay, so I did hear that right. Yeah. Notice that he said pulled, not sucked. Just to point that out quickly, okay?
There's no functional difference between those two words in this context. They mean the exact same thing. Okay? It's like me saying, I chewed food and then swallowed it. And then I say, I masticated food and then swallowed it. Literally functionally equivalent terms here. Okay? Pulled into space is getting sucked into space. Okay, that's how that works. Let me give you a context where that makes sense, that even your little tiny brain can understand it, Flatzoid. If you're in a spaceship in a movie, and then all of a sudden, like there's a hole, and then people are outside of the spaceship, that's called a blowout, right? Because it's a pressure differential. Generally in physics, high pressure wants to equalize with the surrounding environment. Right. So like a tire, that's why if you puncture a tire, the air will blow out. It's not getting sucked out. It's blowing out. So that's the exact same thing that happens in a spaceship and like a science fiction film. Right. What is the opposite of blow? Suck. Now, I know in a sexual connotation, those mean exactly the same thing. But follow me here. Blowing and sucking are opposite things when it comes to like air. Right. So you blow out air or you suck air in. Right. So the blow is pushing air out. The suck is pulling air in. You see how those are functionally equivalent? They're the same thing. Easy. This is very easy stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, in other words, the high pressure is forcing it low pressure out, like he says, which can be classified as pulled. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But
No,
Dave Reen.
that cannot be classified as pull. See, here he's doing the thing. Okay, so I said in my video that people tend to internalize a criticism of others and then make it about themselves and then get offended on behalf of the other person. What he's trying to do right now, and I want you to pay very close attention, what he's trying to make an excuse for Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar absolutely 1000% means suck. He literally demonstrates it physically. Watch him.
If we have no covering our atmosphere, our waters, everything should be sucked into
So what Flatzoid's doing here is apologizing for him. It's a very obvious tactic. You know, this happens with religion all the time. So you'll have people who believe certain things, and then you'll have the apologists. The apologists will make excuses for the ridiculous things that the people who believe. What he's currently doing is apologizing for what Lord Jamar said. And he's doing that because he's internalizing that criticism. He's going, well, you know, Birdman said all flat earthers believe that space is a vacuum cleaner. Most of them do. And I showed evidence of that. But I'm not talking about all, okay? Do I have to caveat that every time I speak? It's a ridiculous thing. You know, if I say humans walk on two legs, well, some people don't have legs. Yeah, we know, guy. We know. Okay. I'm not talking about everyone, just the majority of people who espouse this talking point. Lord Jamar is one of these people that believes vacuum means suck. He literally demonstrates it. Fuck's sake.
Dave Rena's going to now say, a vacuum sucked.
Yeah, he's got to imply sucked, isn't he?
Because that's what he means.
And this is the same. And this is why I had to rewind this, because the Birdman had exactly the same thing. He claimed he was saying sucked, where he didn't say sucked.
No. I did not claim he said suck. I said that when flurfs hear vacuum, they think vacuum, like a vacuum cleaner. That's what I said. Like, run the tape.
Everything should be pulled into space, into the so-called vacuum of space if there's no covering.
This is a popular talking point by flat earthers and one that is easily proven wrong. You see, when flurfs hear the word vacuum, they immediately think of a Dyson or a Hoover, those household appliances that physically suck in debris. A vacuum in physics, however, is simply a space where there is no or relatively little stuff. Things are not sucked out into the vacuum of space. This is a very common misconception due to science fiction films showing blowouts. What those films are actually demonstrating are pressure differentials, but I digress. Gravity holds things to the Earth, including the ocean, as there are no competing forces that would send the water into space. In order for things to move, there has to be a force applied to that thing. This is Physics 101. But again, it doesn't matter. It's functionally equivalent. He said pull, that's the same thing as being sucked. Okay? That's what he means. Again, he demonstrated that with his own mouth, with his own face. He did that.
He said pull. No, he didn't. Completely different thing.
Completely different
He
thing.
kind of understands vacuums then, doesn't he? Or Jamar, that is.
Okay.
Okay, so first things have to fall off the bottom for some reason. Now everything should be sucked into space, into the vacuum of space.
See, he never said sucked.
He didn't say sucked.
That's what he means, though.
Right.
So, Mr. Dave Arena probably has to stop drinking now because he's already so drunk he can't even understand the difference between sucked and pulled.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so you can say something without saying it. I'll demonstrate that really quick for you. Your mother doesn't know who your father is. You believe that it could be 1 out of 15 guys. What am I saying about your mother?
Because, and those of you who watched one of my flat earth debunks, I think it was the 10 things all flat earthers say, because of the vacuum of space, because this moron thinks that space is a vacuum cleaner.
No, he doesn't. No one thinks that.
Dude.
Yeah, no one thinks that. We've all been correcting you guys on this all the time. And if you see on FED, Nathan Oakley, when he puts the vacuum on the globe.
Stop. I can't take this shit, dude. There are countless examples of flat earthers. And here's the thing. It's like when we say flat earthers, we're talking about like the people that watch your videos, right? Like the people that are learning about flat earth from people like you or from, a stupid Twitter post from Candace Owens or a video like this from Lord Jamar. Okay. People who like might be on the fence and then they were convinced by listening to these people. When they hear vacuum and when like most normal people hear a vacuum, people that don't know anything about science, they do think of a vacuum cleaner. That goes for flat earthers and like just non-flat earthers. People think that you get sucked out into space when like you watch Alien, right? When you saw the alien get spaced, they think that alien was sucked out. Most people believe that. Okay, it's not just a flat earther thing, but flat earthers absolutely believe that. I have countless examples of that. Okay, I showed that in my video, which I know you watched. How do you account for that? I just like. You may not believe that. Lesbian John Voight under you might not believe that. All the people you know might not believe that. Okay? That does not change the fact that a vast majority of you people do in fact believe that. It's like if I say, Christians believe XYZ, then you'll go, well, not all Christians believe it. It's like, fam, fuck's sake, man. We're speaking in generalities here. There's no need to get technical with this because we can prove that people believe that. Again, like Lord Jamar, he absolutely believes, like when he hears vacuum, he's thinking of a sucking thing, of suction. That's what he believes. 1,000%. You can ask him this yourself. He will tell you that.
That's making fun of you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't mean we think Earth is space is a vacuum cleaner. Okay, let's carry on.
He doesn't know what vacuum means, and he thinks that space is a vacuum
never
cleaner
said that.
that should be sucking
Never said
everything
that.
away from the Earth, apparently.
That's putting
So
more
yeah,
than someone's
again, a
mouth,
vacuum
man.
is just where there is no matter.
So that would be called gaslighting, correct?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's not what gaslighting means. Okay. You don't know what words mean at all, Flatzoid. You really should stop. Lord Jamar demonstrated with his body what he meant when he said he literally went like this, the vacuum of space, meaning he doesn't know what a vacuum is. He assumes that a vacuum can't exist. You all know that vacuums exist. We can create vacuums here on Earth. He did this, the vacuum of space. He's literally likening it to a vacuum cleaner, which is why he then motioned the sucking. Like, I understand why you're a flat earther. I get it. I totally get it. Because you can literally see something we all saw and come to a completely different conclusion.
Definitely.
Because he never said that.
No, not at all.
I don't think
Well
he
done,
realized
Dave.
he's gaslighting. No, I don't think he's that smart, Dave.
You know, they tried that with me. They're like, I don't think he's as smart as he thinks he is. And then I showed my IQ, and they went on a whole, like, what they did was, before I showed my IQ on the screen, they were like, Birdman's IQ is probably low. I don't think, or it's not as high as he thinks it is, right? Then I showed that I have like literally superior IQ, like the highest score that you can get. Not the highest score you can get, not the highest IQ, but like the highest like category that you can get. And then immediately they started to try to discredit the IQ thing. It's so funny. Like, I really don't put too much stock in IQ. I don't really care. Like, I know my capabilities. I don't give a shit about a number. But, you know, it's funny that on one hand, they'll go, you have a low IQ, or you're not as smart as you think you are. Then I show it, and then they're like, all of a sudden, IQ doesn't matter. IQ is it's just bullshit. Of course. Schrodinger's asshole. That's what you are.
I wonder who that is.
And gravity keeps things on Earth because of the mass of the Earth. Things don't fly into space. That's not how physics works.
If we have no covering our atmosphere, our waters, everything should be sucked into.
So you think we're
Then I sucked. Okay.
Yeah, he did say suck. I totally forgot. That's what I'm talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Hold that fucking L. Hold that L. We finally got this motherfucker on something that he could just, like, we showed the evidence, and he's been denying this evidence this whole time. He watched this fucking video, okay? Because he did a response to me, which is, you know, why I'm here. So maybe he forgot. Like, I'm willing to be charitable, but, like, there you go. A flat earther that believes a vacuum is a sucking thing, like a vacuum cleaner, which is what the fuck we said, because we're smart and you're dumb.
There, I'll take back. Yeah, he's saying sucked.
Oh, he's saying suck now. Okay.
Saying suck now? Motherfucker, that's what he meant the whole time.
The right words, Jamal should be it's forced into space.
Yeah.
Because it's high pressure to low pressure.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But in a very rudimentary form, yeah. Sucked, as he puts it, because it's so spontaneous.
Wait, so now, I'm gonna skip that. I'm not even gonna respond to it. Holy fucking shit.
I suppose if you were in the vicinity when it was happening, it'd feel like being sucked. You know,
Yeah, kind of would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you watch the space movies, they get put in the lock chamber and it sucks them out.
Exactly.
They're all saying sucks him out now.
Dave, no, I didn't.
Where the movies don't say that. Like, the movie's just showing a blowout, but they're all saying suck. All of a sudden, this is what I'm talking about. Schrodinger's asshole. It's uncanny.
Can't be stupid.
Don't.
So
you can't.
why, right? Why? Why would a vacuum suck things into space? That's not, yeah. So he's thinking of a vacuum cleaner and also doesn't know how vacuum cleaners work.
First of all, a vacuum cleaner works on the laws of entropy, as we
Oh my God, we don't need a fucking lesson on vacuum cleaners from you, Flatzoid. Okay, you barely know how to tie your own shoes. Okay, I would be surprised if you even wore shoes because you barely know how to tie them. Like, let's move the fuck on, please.
Absolutely. Although, see, here's the thing.
Okay, so don't. All right. So, yeah, where's the dome? Right. Hopefully, they're going to Antarctica and they're gonna find the dome, right? Or they're gonna.
I mentioned this for context. A lot of people don't know what he's talking about here. I mentioned this in a video that I'm about to release very soon. It's the final experiment. They invited some people who are science communicators and some flat earthers to Antarctica because in December, in Antarctic winter. No, I'm sorry. Antarctic summer. Sorry. Had a brain fart there. In Antarctic summer or Southern Hemisphere summer, the sun, at least in Antarctica, will not set. And they're inviting these flat earthers and these science communicators down there so everybody can watch it for themselves and prove that that the sun doesn't set in Antarctica. And that will prove that we live on a ball. That's what Dave is referring to. And I do mention this in an upcoming video, so be on the lookout for that.
Search for it. Yeah, there's no dome. We've been up there.
Oh, shit.
Who's this we?
Yeah.
Humanity, numbnuts.
Who's this we?
And also got a question. Yes, we claim there is a dome because you need containment to have gas pressure to breathe, okay?
No, you do not.
But how high is it? We don't know. Maybe you just haven't been high enough. How's that sound?
That works.
SpaceX literally puts cameras on rockets and shoots them into space. Now, are you saying that those rockets aren't going high enough? Because then that would be congruous with this argument that you're making, because we literally have evidence of those rockets going out of the earth, off the ground. Like, low earth, or what do you want to call that? Is there a firmament there? What's the claim?
Things that they don't allow you to explore, right? So there's certain things that I can't prove. I can't go. I'm not allowed to go up there and touch this. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, you could. I mean, who is stopping you?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe physics. Maybe limited funds.
Well, he said whose, not what's. Again, you don't know what words mean. I talked about this act passed by Congress that allows anyone and encourages anyone to explore space. You can build a rocket and you could go into space as long as it's safe to do so. Like, for example, I couldn't launch a rocket from where LAX is or even near LAX. The reason for that is because there's commercial airliners there, and I might kill somebody by shooting a fucking rocket into a commercial aircraft, right? But like, if you can find an area where it's safe to do so, like SpaceX did, you can do that. That's why SpaceX, a private company, I don't know, are they publicly traded? I really don't know the specifics, but I know that they were a private company. They're able to launch rockets all the time. What do you think they're doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, you can literally go physically to a SpaceX launch, watch that rocket go into space. Like, what do you think is happening there? They're not going into space? What are they doing? Do you know how much rocket fuel costs? You just said it yourself. What's stopping you? Limited funds? Yeah. So you think that they're spending millions of dollars to do nothing, to not go? Like, what do you... I'll never understand your explanations for things. You people just don't operate in reality. It's amazing. Nothing is stopping you from going to space besides maybe like funds. Okay, that's a real thing, because rocket fuel is not readily available to the public. Like, you'd have to be, Lord Jamar has a net worth of like $1.5 million. Like, he could literally access it, or he could crowdfund, which is something he could do. He has fans. He has people that love him, crowdfund the money. Like, there are avenues to do these things. Fuck, man. Like, he has enough money to go pay the people that send people up to space. He has enough money to do that. Like, he's famous. He could go talk to Elon Musk and petition Elon Musk. Hey, look, I want to be on the next rocket you guys send up. Let's make it happen. I'm pretty sure Elon would do that, because they're both like aligned politically, right? Like, I think Lord Jamar is like right wing, and so is Elon Musk. So like they could become buddy, and like there's so many avenues, is my point, that he could take. that could get him to space. He doesn't want to because, like you people, you're all grifters, okay? If you proved that the Earth was a sphere, you've lost your influence. Everything you've done up to this point, kaput. And that's exactly why a ton of those motherfuckers that got invited to the final experiment turned it down. Imagine that. Why would you turn down the opportunity of a lifetime if you weren't a grifter? You're all grifters. That's what it is.
Politics, there's so many things that stops a person from just going and doing something. So much legislation you have to follow as well, by the way. You can't just go
build a rocket. There's that flat earther who built a rocket, and I think he died or something, right? But
why are you laughing about it? He's saying, I think
I wouldn't have laughed at that either. I'll never like laugh at someone's death. Do I think that there's people that should not exist on this mortal plane? Absolutely. But you'll never like, I that's the thing about Dave is that I think Dave is a lovable asshole. Like he's definitely an asshole. And I do think that we do need people like that because, this whole thing of being nice to people hasn't really worked. It hasn't really turned out like great results. The other side, they make fun of people and shit talk people all the time. Seems to work for them. So I'm down with the lovable asshole thing. Again, I wouldn't have laughed at a person's death. But it's funny that he laughed though. Like that amuses me, not Max passing away from trying to figure out the shape of the earth. I'll never shit talk somebody for trying to discover things. I will shit talk people like you who you have no interest in figuring these things out. You have none, because you're a grifter. And I have no respect for grifters.
Nobody's stopping you from going to space. It's just really expensive. Why don't you crowdfund $500,000 and go up with whoever, Richard Branson or any of those people? I don't forget.
I said the same thing.
Who are the ones who?
Because they don't really go to space, man. Why would someone need to crowdfund to get $500,000 to go and fall? It's much cheaper to just go on the Vomit Comet, which is the same thing. It's just parabolic falling.
Oh my God. Okay, so his argument is that I keep saying those people that go up in space. Okay, it's called Blue Origin. It's Jeff Bezos's baby. So he's saying that the people that run that are lying. That's the implication here. Remember, you can say things without saying them. Okay, he's obviously going to be watching this on his live stream and go, "Oh, I didn't say that." No, you don't have to say something to imply it. Okay, because what you just said is they're falling. No, Blue Origin states that they go into space. That's what they say. So you're saying that they're saying a lie. That's what you're saying. That's the implication here. Okay, implicative speech. And I'm harping on that because, again, I know he's going to be watching this on a live stream and he's going to go, I didn't say. You don't have to say it. That's what you're implying. So remember, the burden of proof is on the person making a claim.
William Shatner went up there.
William shat his pants. Okay. William shat his pants. Okay.
Why can't you? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe because William Shatner has a lot of money. And William Shatner is influencing people to think space is real. Because, come on, he's the Captain Kirk.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
Oh, God. That's your excuse?
Figure it out. Or just send up a balloon, right? Where is the dome? How high is the dome? How high do we have to go to find the dome?
That's the question I want answered. How high is the dome? Like, where is it? Okay. Because you're claiming that it exists. You're claiming that it's there. So obviously you have some type of proof of it, right? Because remember, you said you can't make a claim without evidence. So how the fuck have you been making this claim and there's no evidence of that dome? You need to show us the dome first before, we accept it. That's how that works.
And tell me where it is, right? Why?
Where's the dome? It's up.
It's up.
There you go. Where's the dome? It's up.
Doesn't he look sad as hell? I'll be honest with you.
He's already,
His expression.
he's already kind of sloshed, so he doesn't really know what's going on.
See what I mean? Like they have no real answer. They have to like tell jokes and make fun of Dave, which is, you know, fair. Like make fun of people. I really don't give a shit. That doesn't, yeah, whatevs. But like he asked a question and you don't have an answer. And this is my point. Like if you follow Flatzoid, you see his answers to things are not real answers. You should find that concerning. Okay. I would find it concerning, you know, if somebody that I followed didn't have an answer to a valid question. Where is the dome? Show us evidence of the dome. He couldn't answer. He said it's up. Well, you know, the thing about a dome is a shape, guy. It's a shape. It's like an arc. And that means it has a ground level, or at least a low level that we should be able to reach, right? So if your claim is that it exists, then you should be able to get to at least that point. You don't have to go up. You just go that way far enough and you'll finally reach it, right? Where's that evidence? You don't have it. See, that's why I stopped being a Christian, you know, because I would ask questions that nobody had answers for. And I was like hardcore Christian, bro. I believed all that shit. So it was like, okay, well, then I stopped following the doctrine. That's what a rational person would do, is go, these people don't seem to have the answers to like very easy questions that I'm asking. Therefore, they don't know what they're talking about, and I should stop following them.
Where is this dome? And isn't it supposed to connect to the land at some point? Why don't you just go closer to where it is connecting to the ground?
Me and Dave have the same brain, I swear to God.
Yeah, that makes a point. How about look at the encyclopedia where it tells you that there was an impenetrable barrier with a very certain specific height that planes crashed into?
What?
The encyclopedia was very specific on this. I think it was past the 80th parallel.
Oh my God.
Won't they take a rocket down to Antarctica and launch it down there and see how high they get? That would be good proof. I think
okay, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go to Antarctica to launch rockets. Why? Because it's like easier to stay where you are and launch a rocket. Like, do you hear yourself? Yes, let's go to this ice wasteland. Let's take like billions of dollars of equipment and fuel down there just to do something we could have done in Houston or Florida. Like, these people don't think before this opens.
Sorry, I'm just getting rid of a load of trolls and you're back up, man.
Don't worry about it, man. Let them be. They're actually pushing my channel up.
There you go. Admittance that they delete every time somebody comes to their channel and like corrects them about something, they call them trolls and delete them. They did that to me. They deleted my comment. And you just have evidence right there of him saying, yeah, I'm just getting rid of the trolls. Yeah, come on. The trolls? Really? Trolls? Those are people going, okay, you guys are wrong about this and here's XYZ. And I know that because when I was in the comment thread, I liked a comment of a person saying exactly that. All of a sudden it was gone. And the person that he admitted to deleting was the guy that I liked the comment on. He said he was a troll, but he wasn't even like shit talking this guy, which he definitely deserves. He just deleted that comment and was like, no, he won't get to comment here because he's trolling. They call people correcting them trolls and they delete the comment right there. You just admitted it.
Idiots.
Because they're putting messages and stuff. So leave them be. Yeah. Let them hold each other. Let them hold each other's hands and sing Kumbaya.
That's exactly what you motherfuckers do. Pat each other on the back. But Flatzoid is being very performative here, and I'll tell you why. Because I called him out for deleting my comment. Okay, so now he has to pretend that he doesn't delete comments.
Yeah, but it's what they're saying. It's a problem.
Yeah, if they get overboard, unfortunately, gotta get rid of it.
Overboard.
So go to Antarctica. They're already going. Maybe he knows about the final experiment. Who knows? When was this video? This was a month ago. This was posted on October 7th. So I
don't think Lord Jamar knows about the final experiment. This guy, he just watches flat Earth videos and regurgitates. He has no clue about this stuff. He doesn't even know what he's saying.
He perhaps has not kept abreast of what's going on in the flat Earth community.
Definitely
saying,
right.
So this is only what I can surmise, especially from thousands of years, because only 500 years ago did they come with this whole heliocentric model.
Yeah, and before that, it was a geocentric spherical Earth.
Right.
I'm so tired of flat earthers pretending that heliocentrism is the first time that we figured out that the Earth is a sphere.
Right.
We figured
No, he didn't talking about first time it's a sphere. He was specifically talking about heliocentrism.
Oh my God, this guy's so fucking stupid. Dave is making the point that there's a timeline, right? And there's a period of time where we knew the Earth was spherical. Okay, let's just assume that the spherical Earth and the flat Earth are both equally valid, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna like adjust my language here. There was a specific time where people assumed the Earth was spherical. That was before the heliocentric model. Okay, that's what he's describing is a timeline, and what Lord Jamar said is that this happened 500 years ago. So the implication here, again, implicative language, something you don't understand, Flatzoid, is that we thought only 500 years ago that the Earth was a sphere. No, we knew that before. The Greeks knew that. Okay, this is thousands of years ago. Try to fucking keep up, for fuck's sake.
it out about 2,500 years ago. The ancient Greeks, at least, probably before, we've known it's a sphere.
No, first of all, no one knew it was a sphere, okay? Apparently you had someone that's not even showing documentation that they ever existed to apparently postulate that the Earth was a sphere because the gods must have created a sphere because they only create perfect shapes. Mm-hmm. Literally, it was a mathematical Euclidean cult that was obsessed with shapes. Okay?
I don't understand. Like, which person we don't have evidence existed? Who is he talking about? Because he's referring to ancient Greeks. I'm pretty sure the Greeks were very well documented. It's like specifically who is he talking about? Because Flatzoid brings up he does a thing that he accuses Dave of here. He starts talking about things that Dave didn't say, and he attacks that. So I need to know which figure from Greek history, ancient Greek history, that Flatzoid is referring to that we don't have documentation of. I need to know that.
And they believe it to be a sphere. Yeah.
Yeah. There was no they knew. Still nobody knows.
And that's why I was adjusting my language, because I knew he was going to harp on that. I'm telling you, I can read this guy like a children's book. The hungry caterpillar ate an apple. The hungry caterpillar ate a banana. Like, he's that easy to fucking read.
It's a sphere because it violates a lot of things, a lot of natural laws.
No, it doesn't. Shut up. You don't know those fucking laws.
The heliocentric model is the new boy under the block. So that 500 years ago, exactly. Before that, it was mostly flat.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't mostly. Okay. Now, you Christians, you Judeo-Christians believe that the Earth is flat. Yeah, I'll give you that. The Greeks didn't, though. Okay, we know that they didn't, and other civilizations didn't. Now, they definitely believed that everything revolved around the Earth. That was a widely held belief. Heliocentrism is new, but spherical Earth, it's like those are different concepts, my dude. Spherical Earth is old. It's a very old concept. I'm not going to say that flat Earth is new, but it's relatively less adherence compared to spherical Earth in antiquity.
Heliocentrism is a lot harder to figure out. The thing that I always say is that it's so easy to figure out the Earth is a sphere that I am very confident I could have done it with no help, right? You bring me back 2,000 years, I could have made observations and figured out that the Earth.
Yeah, I mean, like a very basic observation would be like a lunar eclipse. If you've ever seen a lunar eclipse in person, you'd be like, oh shit, there's a shadow on the moon. Okay, that shadow is curved. What is happening here? Those of us with working brains would be able to deduce that. Be like, oh, that's the Earth's shadow because it only happens during a full moon. So full moon means that the moon is here, we are here, and we know that the sun is behind us, right? So boom, there you go. The Earth's shadow. We're seeing the Earth's shadow on the moon. And it's curved. That must mean the Earth is at least curved. Even if you thought the Earth were flat in antiquity, right? We know that the sun moves in the sky in a certain way, and it's predictable. It'll be in the same spot like tomorrow, right? Very, very slightly different spot, but like in general, it'll be the same spot, right? So like you could then make the inference from that. There's so many ways to like look at the planet or look at the phenomena that we see here on Earth and go, oh, well, we must be on a ball. It's like it's blatantly obvious to people that are intelligent.
The Earth is a sphere.
That's nonsense. You can't even do it now.
You can't do it because you're an idiot.
That's nonsense. How would he, if he can't do it now, how would he do it then?
Yeah.
I can't do something, therefore nobody can. Idiot.
Could I figure out heliocentrism? Hell no. Much, much harder to figure out. That's why we figured it out 500 years ago, not 2,500 years ago.
Was not figured out.
Yes,
There's a difference between figured out and someone believing it to be.
You would know that, wouldn't you, Flatzoid? Because you believe in the firmament and you've never seen it.
All the different civilizations prior to that knew that we lived on a level plane.
No.
Okay.
Not
Water
true.
always finds its what?
Level.
Exactly. Water always needs a what? A container. You see?
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy clearly I think he just watched Dubé's 200 proofs.
I said the exact same thing. I'm telling you, me and Dave might be the same person. Like you never seen us in the same room before. We both live in LA. We might be the same dude. Like, don't we look alike a little bit? All right. So in all seriousness, it's blatantly obvious that Jamar just watches, he watched a few flat earth videos so that he could come to this podcast and start making declarations as if he knows what he's talking about. The problem is he's never seen the refutations to those talking points. Like, for example, that water always finds its level. Again, this is something flat earthers cannot comprehend. Tides literally disprove the idea that water is always flat. Like without if a large body of water is like the ocean, tides means that it's low tide here, but like high tide here. So all of a sudden the water's like this. But if the earth were flat and water always finds its level, shouldn't the water be like this? Like, how does a tide make sense on a flat earth? It doesn't. Okay. And also they can't explain tides. Like they don't know why a tide happens, but we all see tides happening. Like those of us who fish for a living, those of us who live near the oceans or ride boats. We know all about tides. At least we know how they physically happen. We don't like those people may not be able to explain them, but they know that they physically happen. Right. So if it's high tide here and it's low tide here, look at that level of water. What's happening there, guys? You may not know that the moon and the sun are causing the bulges, that create tides, but there's a bulge. That's showing water curving because there's low tide here, high tide here, low tide here. Oh, look at that. A curve, almost like a bell curve. You're on this side.
Moving on to Kikori, visiting Japan. So water finds its level. What does level mean? Right, level does not mean
Perpendicular
flat.
to the earth.
Yes, it does.
Perpendicular to the center of the earth.
It actually does.
It certainly does. And yes, Caucasoid, whoever you are, we are not playing. We do actually not believe it's flat. We know it's flat.
We know it's flat.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. He wants to do this. I can play the same exact game. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, would you look at that? Yes. Level on Earth means perpendicular to the Earth's core, essentially meaning it forms a straight line directly outward from the center of the planet at any given point on the surface. So this means that if something is like here, it's perpendicular, okay, to the Earth's core. Perpendicular to the Earth's core. Perpendicular to the Earth's core. See how that means level? There you go, dipshit.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now tell me how much times we see the word horizontal. Okay. Stop.
Okay. We have to skip this, okay? Because one thing flat earthers love to do is pretend that words have any effect on material reality, okay? This is English we're speaking. In another language, it can mean something else. The language does not matter. The concept is what matters. Okay. Lord Jamar did this exact same thing in this very video. He said that, horizon, what's the root word of horizon? Horizontal, not knowing that horizontal is actually in reference to horizon. He had it backwards, literally. Okay. So let's not do this. We have to skip this. This is nonsense. Playing word games with people that are less educated. Okay. Let's not do this. I'm skipping this.
I got to call
Level
Mr.
means
Anderson.
perpendicular to the vector pointing to the center of the Earth.
There you go.
Okay. So it says level is meaning the level is, right, let's get that. Vector of center of Earth. Right?
I mean flat. Level means perpendicular to the vector pointing to the center of the Earth.
Can you bring that definition up for me, please?
Huh?
I hear this a lot. They always say that, but where's that definition?
Where's our definition? Do you mean like in a scientific context? Because you guys do the same thing with the word theory all the time. And then we show you that scientific theory is a completely different connotation than the word theory. You'll go, oh, something is just a theory. And we go, no, when something is a theory, it's the highest level of explanation that we have. It's literally the highest thing in science. Like if you have something like a concept, like that's the highest thing you can hope for it to be, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, like if you have a hypothesis of something and it's true and it has explanative power and it has predictive power, it becomes a theory. So you're doing the thing. You're doing that exact thing. Where is your definition? I just showed it on the screen. Level means perpendicular to the Earth's core. That's what level means in the context of Earth, in the context of water on Earth. That's what it means.
Have they presented that definition to anybody yet?
Bro, okay. So not too long ago, this guy straight up said that he knows more about science than I do. Like he'll bet that he knows more about science than I do, but he clearly has never heard of a free surface. He's asking for definitions. Free surface. There's your definition. Free surface. Let's look it up together, shall we? Here you go. A free surface. In physics, a free surface is the surface of a fluid that is subject to zero parallel shear stress. That's very important. Let's go down a little bit. A liquid in a gravitational field will form a free surface if unconfined from above. Under mechanical equilibrium, this free surface must be perpendicular to the forces acting on the liquid. That means the force of gravity, which is the downward force, it has to be perpendicular to that force. Guess what that is? That horizontal thing you guys keep bringing up. Get it? Horizontal, vertical. That's the water. Okay? It forms that surface. It's called a free surface. There you go. Let's go down a little bit. It talks about flatness. Flatness refers to the shape of a liquid's free surface. On Earth, the flatness of a liquid is a function of the curvature of the planet, and from trigonometry can be found to deviate from true flatness by approximately 19.6 nanometers over an area of 1 square meter. There you go. That's what you're looking for, bud. Free surface. That's our definition. There you go.
Right. So over here, this is level. This is level.
I did the
This is
same
level.
thing.
This is level. This is level.
No, it's not, because it's not perpendicular cutting through all plumb lines.
Oh my God. Dude, it's the surface of the water. The surface of the water. That's what. idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He just says things. And for people who don't know these things, like it might sound plausible or feasible, but for those of us who knows these things and knows what a plumb line is, it just sounds ignorant. Like, have you ever heard Terrence Howard speak? The way he just like says mumbo jumbo.
Waves at the ocean. You know, the darker the waves, the deeper the water. You can't see a distinguishing fact between them until they crash into each other. That splatter, that little foam that comes out, it lasts for a couple seconds, and then it settles back on there, and it's just the balance between this force and this force. That's the physical universe. Those few seconds that it takes that matter, that more dense water, and the foam to recoalesce and get balanced again with the surrounding environment. That's the entire time that our universe, or all these universes, have worked together.
That's what Flatzoid does. So for people who don't know these things, it doesn't sound like mumbo jumbo. Or maybe it does, but it sounds like smart mumbo jumbo. You know, shit that like if I start talking about like because like, you know, my area is biology, right? So if I start talking about natural selection to somebody who doesn't know what the fuck that even means, it sounds like smart mumbo jumbo, right? So that's what this sounds like to people who are ignorant to the concept. Okay. But for those of us that knows what this is, it's frustrating. It's like, it's maddening that he just says this shit and just gets away with it. Apparently. Ridiculous.
Heard of rain? Have you heard of clouds? What about...
I said the same thing.
Is he claiming clouds is not contained now?
Are clouds contained? What are they contained by, Flatzoid? That firmament you keep talking about? Well, then that would mean the cup, the water that's in that cup is also contained by that firmament. Like that is such an obfuscation of the point. It beggars belief. The point is that water exists without a container. Okay, it is not contained. Again, if you're claiming that the firmament is what's containing it, then you need to provide evidence of that. You need to provide evidence of that firmament, or else everything you're saying is bullshit. Remember, that's what you try to do to me. Ball's in your court, buddy. Go ahead and go prove that.
Yeah, he is. It's all in contained water. Everything out.
There's no electromagnetic force holding the clouds, the water vapor together.
Electromagnetic force.
No, they're not bonded at all.
Prove that. Prove that's what's happening. I like. The water cycle is something that's taught to children, and they understand it. I bet you this guy couldn't even spell evapotranspiration, let alone knows what that means. Okay,
Dave. Water puddles are contained. The surface of Earth is a container, dude.
The surface of Earth
Just
is a
like
container?
You have a plate that contains your food that you eat off. How about that?
No. That's not what a container is, okay? A container is you put it in something, right? So like a bowl is a container. A plate is a plate. Food sits on top of that. Doesn't sit in a plate, okay? In order for something to be, like, this is what I mean. He just doesn't understand words. And then like he pulls up the definition of these things and still doesn't get them. Water does not need a container. Water is subject to the forces by like any force, okay? And it's subject to the force of gravity. That's the answer.
Kikori or whatever you're drinking, alcohol in that cup you're drinking. How else would you drink it if it wasn't contained in the bottle or in the cup you're drinking it from?
Notice how those are like completely different from like a plate.
Yeah, that's a container, right? I'd say it would be.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen footage of water on the International Space Station?
Yes.
The International Space Station is a violation of natural law.
What an idiot, dude. These guys just say things. It's so funny. This is so funny. How is the International Space Station a violation of natural law? I promise you, he doesn't know what natural law even means. Okay. He starts talking about natural laws and he doesn't think gravity exists. Gravity is a natural law. He did this to me. He said that I was bringing up Newton and Einstein and I'm trying to like marry those ideas. No. Okay. Newton described a law. Gravity, things fall down. That's the law. A law in science, okay, is an observation. It's that simple. An observation of something that naturally occurs. Okay. The scientific theory, which is what Einstein came up with, okay, is the explanation for that law. It explains why that occurs, why that thing happens. He doesn't know this. That's why he keeps bringing up entropy and like he doesn't even know what these words mean. He has no clue. Okay. He just regurgitates like these talking points that all flirts regurgitate. They don't know what they're talking about. Ask any scientist who deals with this stuff. They'll tell you that these people just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They'll be a little bit more nice about it, though. I don't have to be nice. I'm a science communicator. I'm not a scientist.
Always do this. They always go to Narnia to prove Narnia.
What? You're literally the guy that believes in fairy tales. Like, what are you talking about?
It's quite crazy.
It's just fucking floating around, isn't it?
No.
So I don't know what.
No, it's called falling.
Yeah.
Free falling.
The cloud is falling. He's talking about the cloud, right? Wasn't he still talking about the cloud? Am I tripping? They paused it so fucking long. I forgot what Dave was talking about.
What parabolic falling means, man. Parabolic slide. It's literally free falling. It's not floating.
Nope.
There's no such thing.
Oh, Dave was talking about the water in the International Space Station and how when you see water, the way water behaves in the International Space Station, it forms spheres because that's what gravity does, guys. It makes everything form, or at least things that are like sufficiently large form into a sphere, right? And water is one of those things that is subject to the forces around it. So water turns into a sphere, and this is like the explanation that he has for the International Space Station just doesn't make sense. Okay, like we have very long videos of these people in space. And you'll see like they're brushing their teeth. They're trying to brush their teeth. And like the water on like a towel will just stay there. It won't go. It can't go anywhere. So it just stays there because it behaves very differently than here on Earth, where like if you wring out a towel, it falls into your sink because it's falling to the earth. Okay. This is what Dave is referring to. And these parabolic, shut up. You don't know what a parabola is. I know you don't. Okay. You don't know any math. You can't do math.
Thing is floating in the midair. It's falling.
Do you know how short that is? Like you can go into a plane and they'll do the thing like this where you'll experience 0G, but it's incredibly short. The videos of the ISS are not incredibly short. So flat earthers and conspiracy theorists have had to say that these people are underwater and they're on wires, like, and then like the water is CGI. Like they have to come up with these ridiculous explanations. Okay. And then now Flatzoid is saying, oh, they're doing this. It's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're not falling. Okay. Well, technically they are. I mean, that's what orbiting around the Earth is. It's a perpetual free fall. So yeah.
Talking about with this container shit.
I can't have this drink on the outside of my cup. No. It must be on the inside of my.
Not true. I can throw that drink on the side of your cup and it'll stick to that cup until gravity forces it to fall to the ground. Condensation on the outside of your cup is water on the outside of the cup. That's what I'm talking about. Like these very simplistic explanations that flat earthers have, very easily debunked by like observing reality.
My cup. It must have a container. Okay.
Because gravity's pulling it down to the ground.
Gravity's not a force. It's not pulling anything.
Gravity is a force. It is a natural law. Again, this guy is invoking laws and he doesn't know about one of the most fundamental ones.
So there's no way that water could just stick to the outside of a spinning ball. Think about it.
Right.
Where's the 1,000 mile an hour? Because it's supposed to be
Because
going
on an axis. And it's on an axis.
So listen, not just the ball that's like this. It's a ball like supposedly like.
I'm like, look, what does the axis have to do with anything? Like Godfrey came in and bailed him out from his little weak sauce explanation. He didn't have to do just let him talk. He's gonna talk himself into a grave, okay?
Like this.
Why does it matter? Why does this matter? You're pretending.
Because you got an axis of rotation. That's why it matters.
No, it doesn't, fool. Okay, we're talking about water sticking to a ball, right? It being on an axis is immaterial to that. Immaterial. God, you are so fucking clueless.
You've got a reference.
Oh my God.
To the sun, by the way. That's what's called heliocentrism.
See, just bringing up random things because he has nothing to say because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Jamar was talking about water sticking to a ball, a spinning ball. Godfrey said that's on an axis. Godfrey doesn't even know where he's going with this. So Godfrey injected some shit that doesn't even matter. And then Flatzoid comes out of the fucking woodwork and says, oh, because heliocentrism. Like, what the? Shut up. Shut up. Jesus Christ.
And he should study up on his own model. He doesn't have a clue.
Oh, my God.
Why does... Yeah.
The water can't be on the outside of your cup is because it would fall to the ground.
Which is the concept that he brought up earlier. Dave brought up this concept earlier when he picked up the globe and said flat earthers, when they think about water sticking to something, they're thinking about that thing while on Earth. Okay, he says, well, water needs a container. Yeah, on Earth, because the water is falling to Earth. If the water was in space, doesn't need it. That's what scientists say. Okay, that's what, like, the thing that I have a problem with is flat earthers don't seem to understand what it is that scientists actually say. So they start to talk about things that people have never said, or maybe like people who don't know what they're talking about said, and harp on that and just talk about that. So like Lord Jamar, he says, well, water needs a container. Let's just assume that were true. He's talking about on Earth. In space, I just talked about it. I can put up an image here or a video here of how water behaves on the ISS. Okay. It doesn't need a container there. Why? Why does it need a container here, but not there?
And the water that's surrounding the Earth is falling to the ground. That's exactly what it's doing. You're saying the same thing twice. You just can't wrap your head around the difference in scale here.
It's always scale for that. It's always scale.
Also equals to 666, but that's what? Oh yeah, that's some whole other shit.
I like how Flatzoid's just like nodding along, like, bro, what the fuck? This is some bullshit. This is pseudoscience bullshit. This is all the axis of the Earth matches up to 666. Like, bro, like numbers don't mean anything. Okay, like these numbers, like 66, it means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It's the number after 665 and the number before 667. That's it.
No, it's not. It's not six. Well, he's pretending.
No. It is 666.
Here we go.
What's 90 minus 23.44?
Let me break out the calculator.
666.
Yeah, 66.6 degrees.
Yep. And the same with the speed, right? But they rank the rest.
So look, I want y'all to notice something, okay? There's a reason Flatzoid knows this off the top of his head. And it's because it's something they regurgitate over and over to themselves. This guy can't do math. I promise you, he can't do math. I'll put a formula on the screen right now and ask him to figure this formula out. He can't do it. He's going to skirt right past this. Again, I know he's going to be watching this video. He's going to skirt right past this formula because he doesn't understand it. He doesn't know how to do this. He knew that math off the top of his head though, right? Why do you think that is? Regurgitation. That's all he can do. He can't do math. He doesn't know science. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Go ahead, Flatzoid. Give it a try. You won't. You won't. You won't. Because you can't. That should be concerning for the people that follow you or put stock in anything you say. You can't do the math.
Rounded up to 6'7" for some reason. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You
Tony,
wouldn't want to make it obvious.
What can we say?
Dave's a drunk.
He contradicts himself a lot.
He does that when he's sober too.
66.6 degrees, which it's not. I mean, it's sometimes 23.4, but that's one of the Milankovitch cycles, right? It's the tilt in Earth's rotational axis with respect to the ecliptic or the planet of the solar system is slowly changing over thousands of years, tens of thousands of years.
Exactly, and that's exactly why the numbers don't mean anything. That's what I meant earlier. Like you're cherry picking at one point, okay, to match up this weird, satanic thing that you're trying to. Fairy tales, man. Humans are like biologically wired to see patterns. The reason for this is that the more you notice patterns, the better your chance of survival in the wild. So this is an evolutionary trait, but unfortunately has morphed into this bullshit. So yeah, like we see patterns, and that's all that these flurfs are doing. And obviously these particular ones are religious, so they have to go, yeah, no, it is 666. It is satanic. All of that shit is bullshit.
That, and then the precession of the rotational axis, and then the ellipticity of Earth's orbit. Those are the three Milankovitch cycles. So those are changing.
Which all come back to 666. That's the whole point of your math.
You can get, so in other words, you can get 666 from like literally any type of math, bro. Is math satanic too? Like, what are we doing here? I can get any number at any time because that's how numbers work.
But isn't it coincidence that all the math conjoins up to 666?
You can't even do the math. We know you can't do the math. You won't do the math.
Yeah,
I want to see all these cycles that they're talking about. I don't think they could prove even the ellipticals.
I want to see Flatzoid do some actual fucking trigonometry. I don't think he can, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And the problem is, like, trigonometry is required for knowing the curvature of the Earth, like the drop height. It's literally trig. He can't do it. I'm willing to bet lesbian John Voight can't do it either, or the people below. I'm willing to bet that they can't do it either. Happy to be proven wrong, though. That would be great. More people that could do math be a good thing. I just don't think you can do it. And I promise you he skipped over my formula 100%. And there's a reason for that, guys. There's a reason. He can't.
In math, this is math. That's it. Yeah. They prove it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of symbolism behind it. It's literally them making fun of you guys.
Yes, it
is. You're the only one being made fun of, bro.
But even right now, it is not 666. Also, I love like the thing of like, oh, the evil Freemason Satan people or whatever are gonna do this incredible thing to trick everybody,
and then do it in public.
These obvious
clues,
like NASA means to deceive. Well, why the fuck would they call it that? This idiot is gonna say, "Oh, they do that because they're laughing at you." Like, bro, okay, hold on. The logic is not logicking here. Okay, so on the one hand, they're lying to everybody about the shape of the Earth, but then on the other hand, they're leaving all these obvious clues to clue you in that the shape of the Earth is not. Do you know how crazy you sound? You don't know how crazy you sound.
I'm willing to bet, because it's like, yeah, they're trying to trick you guys. They're lying to you, but then like they're leaving clues so you can figure it out. Like, what? Why? If they're trying to trick you, why leave the clues at all? If they want you to figure it out, why not? Why lie to you? This shit doesn't make any sense. Any sense? Guaranteed. This is what he's gonna say.
Because that's how it works.
That's how it works.
If you understand how the magic works,
This guy's a dumbass.
Yeah.
This guy's a dumbass. Thank you, Ryan, for your valuable input.
How do I put
No
this?
doubt. No doubt.
For the magic to work, they have to be in plain sight. The truth has to be in plain sight while they're deceiving you.
Nonsense. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Most people, if you ask them what the shape of the earth was just based on what they see, they probably would come to the conclusion that it's flat, right? And that's because, human perception is just unreliable. If they were trying to trick you into believing that the shape of the earth is not that, you don't need the clues because it's apparent, right? I don't understand. Like, why leave the breadcrumbs is the point. Lord Jamar says to that specific question, why would they lie about the shape of the earth? They want to control you. Well, if they want to control you, why leave the breadcrumbs so that they can no longer control you? You people are you never think 5 minutes ahead. You would get destroyed in chess.
That's it. That's the magic trick. It's literally mentalism, man.
Nonsense.
By the way, that's a great show. We have one here in the States called The Mentalist. He actually does some good tricks, dude. Yeah.
The Mentalist.
Yes, you get all your education from
Yeah,
TV.
The Mentalist.
Of course.
If they're trying to deceive you, why would they name it I'm deceiving you? How dumb do you think, like,
Exactly.
why would anybody
They
do
didn't name it I'm deceiving you.
Oh, God. Missed the point.
It's just the acronym comes up for Nashar. That's all.
Okay.
Which means to deceive in Hebrew.
Okay.
It means other things
that?
too.
Why would anybody do
Of course it means other things. It doesn't just mean this one bad thing. It means all the bad things. You guys are fucking clowns.
Not another space agency. Never a straight answer.
And then they act like NASA's the only space industry on Earth. Every single time. There's an image, this gorgeous image from the Japanese, and they show that they have these satellites in space. No affiliation with NASA. I mean, they might have a friendly sort of correspondence in the same way that the Japanese government has a friendly correspondence with the United States, but like Russia doesn't. There are Russians on the ISS. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different space agencies on Earth. They always talk about NASA. So the name NASA, it has something to do with Hebrew. Well, what about the Japanese one? Oh, you don't speak Japanese, so you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So do you believe that people are upside down right now in Australia and that rain goes up instead of down? It rains up in Australia.
The ignorance.
And people are upside.
It's upside down with respect to you, and you're upside down with respect to them.
Exactly.
It's a sphere. I don't know what you're not getting about.
It's simple. He's saying antipodal is dumb.
Yeah, and Dave is saying that is dumb. There you go.
Yep.
That's what he's saying. Because to your reference, it's raining up to your feet.
Aye.
Which is stupid.
It's reality, unfortunately. Just because you can't seem to understand that doesn't make it not reality, buddy. You don't have to believe in reality, but reality believes in you.
Why can't I go up in a helicopter for an hour if the world is spinning? Why can't I hover for an hour and come back down and be somewhere
Stupidity.
It's called conservation of momentum. So yeah, this guy clearly, like, it's just blatantly obvious that he just watched the Dubé 200 proofs. And,
I said the same thing.
And that's it. That's
Why does he always just bring up Dubé's 200 proofs as if that's
because these people are watching the same thing over and over, Flatzoid. It's blatantly obvious. They all say the same wrong thing. Okay, if there's like a bunch of people saying the same wrong thing, it's obvious they got their data from some point that was saying that wrong thing. Put it this way. There are religions in the Japanese. They have, Japanese Shinto. There are religions in the Chinese. There are religions in India. These are all the same relative geographic area in Asia, right? But they all have different mythologies and gods and things like that. Why? Well, they didn't get their source from the same place. That's why. Like their source isn't the same place is what I mean to say. But like they're all wrong though, right? Especially according to you. You're a Judeo-Christian. I believe you're a Christian if I'm not mistaken. They're wrong. There's no such thing as Shiva and Krishna. There's no such thing as Sun Wukong and the gods that he fights. There's no such thing as Lai Jing, right? These are all not real according to your worldview. So they're all wrong, and they're all saying different things. Now, what if they were wrong but all said the same thing? Your assumption would be, well, their source is the same place. Why do I have to explain this logic to you?
I watched that 9 years ago, and I still think the same way as him. Why can't I go up in a helicopter, then land elsewhere?
That's because you're an idiot. That's why. This is what I meant earlier by flat earthers don't understand what it is that scientists say. They're arguing against things they do not understand. That's the point. Okay. Scientists say, and scientists say this, remember this, okay, that when you're on a thing and you're moving with that thing, you retain momentum. You conserve the momentum of that thing unless acted upon by another force or something acting as a force. If scientists say that that's a thing, and we're saying that the Earth is rotating, that means you, along with the atmosphere, are also rotating. The helicopter is, even though it's hovering, it's still moving with the rotation of the Earth. That's what scientists say, okay? So if you don't know that, then you don't know what scientists say, or you're disputing that. One or the other. I don't even think you know. That's why when you hover in a helicopter, you won't land somewhere else. It's because the helicopter was on the Earth when it left the ground. This rotation is being maintained by the helicopter. That's why. You need air to fly. The air is rotating with the Earth. Fuck's sake, man, this is basic shit. And I'm going to stop here as I know some of you are probably tired at this point. I recorded 5 hours of me watching this guy. Their video was only like 2 hours, but it took a long time for my explanations and such. So it's actually 5 hours and 30 minutes. So I'll stop here. If you guys want to see the rest of this, I can maybe break it up into maybe 2 other videos. Please let me know in the comment section if that's something that you want to see. But yeah, let's stop it here because I'm kind of tired of editing, so yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's all we're going to do tonight.
All right, cool. I'm fucking done. I can't take any more. I will not be doing the rest of he has at least 2 more fucking live streams of this. I am literally over 5 hours of recording. I have to edit all this down. Yeah, no, I'm done here. The next time I talk about this fucking idiot will be in my actual response to his response to my video. And we might have to do a lot of editing on that because holy hell, this guy is insane. Okay. Anyway, I thought you guys might find this entertaining. But yeah, this has been your friendly neighborhood Birdman. And I will see you in a smarter video next time, hopefully.